Hello, I'm Greg Ayotte. I'm the Director of Consumer Services for the Brain Injury Association of America. And I'm here today with Kelly and Ann, two members of the Brain Injury Advisory Council. And we're here today to talk about the importance of having multiple solutions for working around a deficit after brain injury. First, I want to explain a little bit about the Brain Injury Advisory Council. So the council is a group of survivors from across the country that work with BIAA to meet the mission of the association. They work to increase awareness and understanding about brain injury, and they do this through working together to create and share information about life after brain injury. They do this in a variety of ways, one of which is developing articles for our Brain Injury Association of America quarterly newsletter, The Challenge. This is the issue in which the article we'll be talking about is in. It's the latest issue available on the BIAA website. I wanted to introduce both Kelly and Ian, give them a chance to introduce themselves and tell them a little bit about the work on the council. We'll start with Ian.
Hi, my name is Ann Forrest. In 1997, I was hit from behind in a car accident by the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Neurons in all parts of my brain were either stretched or broken. My brain injury was not diagnosed at the time. Later, it was diagnosed as a mild TBI. The doctor told me to rest and return to work. That plan did not work. I have been practicing how to live well after brain injury for about 25 years. And I'm still learning new skills every day.
Excellent. Thank you, Ann. And Kelly?
Hi, I'm Kelly Pacrifka. I'm from Virginia. And in 2013, I had just a concussion, and I'm still living with debilitating symptoms every single day. So that just a concussion is a little bit of a joke. But I had so many concussions beforehand throughout my life, dozens and dozens, and I never thought anything about it. I thought, yeah, big deal. And so against medical advice, I was told to wait in a silent, dark room for months at a time, which don't do that. No longer protocol. And so I am still living with so many symptoms and trying to figure out day after day how to work around them. So this topic is perfect.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for coming in and sharing your expertise. So as I said, we're talking today about kind of having multiple solutions, having multiple plans for working around deficits after a brain injury. So let me ask, why is having multiple plans or solutions for working around deficits important for a person with a brain injury? Kelly, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so we all have so many different unique symptoms and solutions that actually work for us. And a lot of times we don't even realize that we have that symptom until we're suddenly confronted by this obstacle and we have no idea what to do about it. And, we go through different solutions that we think will work. And oftentimes we need to get to, plan A, plan B, plan J, Z, and then we figure out it from there. And it's constantly evolving. And what we need one day, we may not need the next. And yeah, we're constantly developing different skill sets to try to figure out how to get around our symptoms.
True that. And Ian?
Sure. What I learned is it's very important to have a plan A and a plan B to work around our symptoms. I wanted to make the most of my life and the best use of my energy. And like Kelly says, living with brain injury is an adventure. After mine, I learned by trial and error, or error and trial, as I began to call it. I'd start to do something that had once been easy for me, like feeding myself, and discovered I didn't know how. Once I tried to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I got at the bread, I got at the peanut butter, and then I couldn't figure out which side of the bread the peanut butter went on. Rather than getting depressed that day, I stopped and took a deep breath, or at least as deep a breath as I could, and I looked for the big picture. I was just trying to eat lunch. I walked up to the bodega, bought a sandwich, and ate in the park. I got this. And so do you.
Excellent. Thank you. So let me ask, how has this idea, this concept of having multiple solutions, having that plan A or B, so how has that helped you as a person with a brain injury? I'm going to start with Anne.
So there are multiple solutions, and oftentimes you need them when, like Kelly says, you cannot think or need to be able to think. My husband has helped me brainstorm solutions many, many times and helped me get when I'm past plan C and D or whatever to sort of figure things out. And recently I was driving, driving is still a challenge for me. And recently I was driving home on a highway trying, and despite my best intentions to get on the highway home before dusk, I noticed it was getting dusky and that I needed my long-term glasses to keep me safe. I reached for my trusty long distance glasses in the console of my car, and lo and behold, they were not there. Oh no. So plan A was that I recognized I needed to pull over. Plan B was I called my husband to brainstorm. Plan C was he and I decided that he would bring me my glasses, my long distance glasses from his console. And plan D was we brainstormed a safer way home that was also slower, and I made it home successfully. So, like I said, I did it, and so can you.
Excellent example. And Kelly?
So one of the hardest obstacles I did was I tried to go back to school, and it was really a Hail Mary attempt. I was definitely not prepared for it whatsoever. I couldn't even read for more than 2 minutes without getting so nauseated that I would throw up. So I had to figure out how on earth am I going to be able to read? And I tried so many different things. One of them was to get me to slow down. I would have to circle every A on the page that I was reading in a red pen. So if you looked at my notes, we're like, what is going on here? And that didn't work. Another thing, I took a binder with just a very small line cut out, so that way I could only see the line I was reading to reduce all of the visual stimuli from the rest of the page. That didn't work. I got my textbooks onto audio files so I could, close my eyes and solely listen to the information. And, that worked for my history classes. I could tune out, tune back in. It was fine. But for my science classes, the software had no idea how to pronounce any of the technical biology terms. So it was awful. So every sentence I would just have to, open my eyes again and be like, what word could that have possibly been that this robot is trying to say? So that was difficult, didn't work. But I figured out different strategies for each class. So history classes, I could listen to. Biology classes, I would just try to, go slow. If that involved many runs, to the restroom to get sick, I did it. But it was really nice to be able to talk to others about it because I couldn't have come up with those solutions by myself. So talk to other people. They may have solutions. It's tough not to get offended when people are offering new solutions because they're not all going to work. And we get a little defensive when we're talking about something we can't do that should be so simple. I was 19. I knew how to read at that point, and it was tough to be like, oh, I don't know how to read anymore. But there's going to be solutions. And when they fail us. We're not failing them. It's not a reflection upon ourselves to be like, this didn't work. I am a failure. It's very tough to try to come to terms with, but persevere and you've got this. You really do.
That's excellent.
And sometimes the act of just reaching out helps me find a solution.
Definitely. Yeah. Saying it out loud and being like, this is the issue. Suddenly, solutions are coming versus, just being inside of our heads the entire time and
being vulnerable. I can't figure this out.
Absolutely.
So that kind of fades into the next kind of question is, what's the one piece of advice that you'd give to another person with a brain injury just kind of starting out their journey? I'm going to start with Anne.
Being gentle with myself. When things don't go according to plan, being gentle and learning to treat myself with compassion. I don't know about you, but I have had to learn a lot about self-compassion, and I still have a lot more to learn. Recognize that you're doing the best, like Kelly says, that you're doing the best in a challenging situation, and you will figure it out. Maybe not the first time, maybe not the third time, or even not on your time frame. Healing does not happen on your time frame, but you will figure this out.
Excellent advice. And Kelly?
My advice is incredibly similar to Anne's. It's so easy to be so frustrated with yourself and just, completely spiral. And once you start spiraling, your brain is turning off. Like there's no way you're going to be able to find a solution when you're sitting there. This didn't work. Nothing's going right. And so I learned to stop all of the negative self-talk. I would say, would I say this to my little sister? What if this was my little sister in the situation? There's no way I would be saying the cruel, negative things. I'd be like, you did amazing. Look at how many times that you were able to persevere. Like you're doing incredible. And I would never say that to her. So I would always say, whenever you're facing difficulties and you're feeling really down on yourself, what if this was the person you love the most in the world? What would you be saying to them? And treat yourself like that because you deserve it. You are doing incredible. All of the perseverance. Not many people can do this. And you are doing great. Like being forced to do it, you're doing it regardless. And you need to love yourself for that and be proud of the progress instead of only seeing the failures.
I think that's an important point, right? Kind of seeing where you've gotten to, right? This is another challenge, but you've come this far. You've just keep using the strategies you've used to get to this point, right? Be flexible, use people as sounding boards, try different things. Absolutely.
And every treatment or, strategy that failed us is getting us closer to the next solution.
You learn a little something, right? All right, why didn't it work? Let's try
Exactly.
What's going to work better for me. Exactly. Well, thank you both for taking the time to come and share your expertise with us. We'd encourage folks to check out the issue of the challenge available on the BIAA website. Go check out the other videos with other helpful tips and strategies. As always, if you are looking for information or have questions, you're always welcome to contact us at the Brain Injury Association of America. Kelly and Ann, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. This was fun.
Pleasure to be here.